Well, our proposal is in the legislation that's been introduced by Representative Woolley in the House and Senator Hinojosa in Wentworth in the Senate that authorizes slot machines at the 13 existing horse and dog tracks as well as the 3 Indian reservations in Texas. Well, I think the policy pitch is, one, you have an industry today, the horse racing industry and the dog racing industry in Texas, that made significant investment based on a certain contract with the state and an economic picture in all the states around us. And as that picture has changed in the states around us, we're now on an unlevel playing field. Furthermore, so what we're asking for is to level that playing field. Furthermore, beyond that, we're talking about a significant new revenue stream for the state, both in this biennium and in future bienniums. So we're talking about, at full implementation, $1 billion a year to the state. We're talking about, tens of thousands of new and permanent jobs, new construction jobs. So this is a real economic development opportunity for the state of Texas as well. We're kind of focused on what the racetracks need and what the surrounding states have done. So we know that they have slot machines in those states, that's helped. There is kind of another couple answers, I think, to your question. One is, what about, do you guys, as long as it's a level playing field, that's really what's of utmost importance to us. That said, there's maybe a misperception sometimes that what we would do at the racetracks is different than what a quote-unquote freestanding casino might do. And the truth is, particularly where the Class 1 horse tracks are located, Grand Prairie, Houston, San Antonio, is that it's all about market potential. And so if it was our intention to just shove a bunch of slot machines into Sam Houston Race Park's existing grandstand, I think that would be warranted. But what we have in our plans to develop are first-class facilities, hotels, lifestyle destination types of amenities. Really ultimately that's going to come down to as a policy decision for the legislature. The reality is that about 85% of revenues in a regional casino come from slot machines. So our proposal reflects kind of getting the most that you can for the state while still kind of limiting maybe what some might perceive as a grand expansion. There's a structural deficit within the state, and what we're proposing is not the panacea, but it is part of a solution that can be generated to deal with that structural deficit. Beyond that, I think, as the markets around us in Texas have matured, 40% of Texans have been to a casino or a racetrack, more than 40% in the last 3 years. And we don't have any of them here in Texas, with the exception of some, a couple of racetracks. So I think that tells you that Texans are already participating. I live in Houston. You can't drive more than 10 minutes without seeing a billboard for Lake Charles, Louisiana. So I think folks in Texas are either gaming already or they recognize it's happening. So let's stop exporting that money and bring it back home. I think the chances are good, and we have to keep pushing for this because it's what our industry needs. We need a chance and an opportunity to level the playing field with those states around us, and we're optimistic that we have a fiscal note from the comptroller that says there's over almost $500 million there for this biennium, as well as what we would bring in future bienniums. So we know that that's not insignificant, and in fact, I'm not sure of another revenue generating proposal that doesn't involve new taxes like that out there.